I was flying last week and I was reminded from a very terrible experience, actually, of how and why we need to review when we put a new policy in. So I don't know about you, but the last couple of times I've flown, they charge you now for a bag. So what do people do? Instead of checking their bag, they just try and pack everything in as small of a bag as they possibly can and they bring it as carry on. And so if you've been on the flights recently, the carry-on space is non-existent. There's just so many bags on there. It's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't fill. I was on one flight where the flight attendants were running up and back trying to get space for people's suitcases. It was awful. I happened to be flying out of an airport that they were saying, look, they have really strict timelines. If we miss our timelines, we're not flying out for 2 hours. So we need to get this done. So they were really stressed. They were running around. It was really an awful experience for them. Same thing happened this time, but this time I'm going to get on the plane and they say to me, you can't bring a carry-on. And I said, no, I can. And I will because this is an overnight flight. I have medication that I'm going to need through the night. I have glasses that I'm going to need to remove my contacts. And there were some other things in my carry-on that I was going to need. And the attendant who I was checking in with was just quite condescending and rude and was making me do things that I've never had to do before. And I thought, this is very ridiculous. So I said to him, look, we finally got frustrated with him and just said, enough, you need to go get us another attendant because you've been so rude to us at this point. I just don't even want to deal with you now. So please go get someone else. He managed to get someone else. She dealt with the issue. I was able to bring my carry-on on the plane. But here's the thing. While his behavior wasn't great and he shouldn't have been as rude as he was, I understand where it's coming from. He's now the recipient of the pain that this policy has caused. So the airlines have started to charge for bags. Okay, so what have people done? Well, we've all tried to bring it as carry-on. And you don't actually have to go to attendant to get on the plane anymore. So there's all of these bags going on. While I was getting harassed for my little bag that actually does fit on the plane, there were these huge bags coming on the plane because people don't actually have to see an attendant before they get on. They can check prior. They can check in prior so they don't worry about it. So this gentleman was probably trying to help out the people who are on the plane. So all the attendants who are actually on the plane, because by taking some of our carry-ons away. But now you've created a problem for him. You've created a problem for the flight attendants, and you've created a problem for people on the plane. It just makes it a really terrible experience because when you're trying to get on the plane and your seat's at the front of the plane, but you're running to the back, or your seat's at the back and you're running to the front to find somewhere to put your bag, it's not helpful. So it becomes a really awful experience. And this happens more than you think in companies. I've seen it happen regularly. I'm working with a company right now where they've created some policies and they're not looking at what it's doing to their employees. Now they're starting to get other indicators. Guess what? Their employees are going off on sick leave because the stress that they've added to their staff is just too much. And so they're overwhelmed. So these are the kind of indicators that you start to see, but you don't ever have to get to the point where the indicator is that people are off sick. What the indicator should be is that when you create a new policy, go and talk to the people who are affected by that policy. Hey, what's happening? How's it working out? Is it solving the problem? I'm assuming that it was a money issue. I have no idea why the airlines decided to charge for baggage as well. I guess people were taking too much baggage, so maybe it was in the hopes of bringing down the baggage that was in the back. But it's created all these other problems. And now it's created really poor client experience. So the same thing for you. When you put in a new policy or you try and do something new, make sure that you follow up within the following weeks to see what that policy has done to everyone on your staff. How has it affected you? Has it created new problems? Do we need to tweak anything? Make sure that whatever it is you put forward, that you are really clear on any other issues it's causing. Because like I said, this other company I'm working for, now their indicator is that people are going off on sick leave. They're all too stressed. So that's not helpful either. You don't want to wait till people start going off on sick leave to make that your indicator. The moment you change a policy or the moment you ask for more from someone, you need to be checking in regularly to make sure that they're doing okay. It also means creating an environment where people are willing to speak up. I don't know what the environment is like in the, I was going from the client experience as far as the airline goes, but maybe no one's listening to them, because I'm sure the flight attendants would have something to say if someone was listening. So hope you have a great week. Enjoy.